So I'm Patricia Heinis, and I'm a mentor for conscious parenting, relationships, and sexuality. And I live here in Munich with my husband and my three kids. And as much as I'm feeling very at home here, I've also been living abroad in places such as the UK, the US, Spain. And I just love the international exchange. And yeah, a little bit about my life. After I've received several business degrees, I've worked over 20 years in big international corporations and in areas of marketing and procurement. And I always loved to mentor and empower people throughout this time. So at some point, several years ago, I decided there is a time that I need to change. And actually, it came because I saw a quote and it said, "We all have two lives. The second one begins when we realize we only have one." Doesn't come from me, comes from Confucius. But that was the time when things shifted for me. And first in my private life, and then in the career. So I decided to change and I decided to help people with their relationships, with all the things that I went through. And that's how I got to the point where I'm now at the moment. So, well, as I underwent a tremendous personal growth period myself in the last couple of years, this journey brought me deeper and deeper into my own shadows, longings, and traumas. And it made me realize how important relationships are in our lives. But also questions came up for me, like what actually does it mean to have a good relationship? And how can we achieve it? And especially, how can we deepen those relationships to the ones that we love? And especially when it comes to children, I thought, so how am I showing up for my children? How can I really connect to them? And what is all the stuff that we bring into the relationships and then load it off to them? And I realized no one ever tells you about how you have to do that thing that is called relationships and how to be and how to be yourself. And I thought, okay, I would like to exactly teach that and bring that into the world and teach people how to heal themselves and how to really relate better in a more wisely way. And this was the birth of Relating Wise. And I want to teach how we can connect to ourselves and everyone else around us that we love in a better way and in a wiser way. That's Relating Wise. So I meant to all people. So you can be young, old, white, black, men, women. That really doesn't matter. I do not make a difference. And I always say relating doesn't just start when you get into a relationship, the first love or anything. It really starts with yourself. And then you can start to relate to anyone else. So the connecting yourself and the knowing yourself starts first. And as a mentor, I work foremost with individuals. So you and I, everyone that wants to explore themselves and become aware of their areas of growth and transformation. So typical topics or questions that oneself could ask is, how can I uncover the patterns that lie behind my behaviors and belief systems? And what are the shadows and how can I overcome them from the past of what I've experienced in my life? And a very important part in my work is also to work with the masculine and feminine energies and to really integrate that and become emotionally immature. So this is the individual part. And I always say, you have to start with yourself. You have to know yourself before you do anything else. Because otherwise, all that stuff that is not known to you, you will just put onto the next person. And so the other group of people I work with are couples that want to deepen their connection to each other and that want to develop that healthy attitude to their partnership, to their sexuality, and actually also live it in the way that it fits to them. And typical questions and things that come up here is to really move beyond unspoken expectations, projections that we do over and over again. Also to understand what are the triggers that, by the way, are not on the outside, but are on the inside. And to also hold space for my partner for exactly that moment. And of course, when it comes to sexuality, it is also about to understand what can sexuality mean for myself, for my partner. How can we create something that is really fulfilling for us and where we can really express our desires and come to that state of happiness and really fulfillment and take care of all those needs that we have and also be sure where is our boundary and to set them. And last but not least, I work, of course, with parents and sometimes the soon to be, as I also have a business in the doula world where I then coach the pregnant women and their families. But when they are parents or soon to be, my my question that I ask to them is how do they want to be consciously aware and how can they connect to their children better and to really become close. This is not about just telling them what to do and giving out rules, but it's really about living a life that your children can see and relate to and then relate to yourself. So questions can be to really also understand what is my stuff that I take or bring into that relationship with my child from my childhood. What are the triggers? What are my projections? What are my belief systems? What my kid has to do or not? How it has to behave or not? And then to see why I'm reacting. Myself, I hold myself guilty. I do start to scream quite easily, but now I'm able to actually make a pause and to realize, oh, this is the program that's going on. So I can be a lot better. And that really makes that very nice connected state with your children. And this is what we really owe our children because they are the future of this whole world. As I mentioned, my clients will be supported in all those areas that they would like to relate better in their lives. And I help them to connect and to relate better. So they receive support and guidance on their own journeys on transformation. And I guide in a quite direct way, but I always leave everyone the choice. That's really important to me. And it's the clients who do the work and I hold their hands and I support them and I mentor them. And especially I enable them to work on their relationships, their shadows, their traumas, whatever it is. I really believe in empowering people because this is where change can happen because I don't change anyone. It's the people and my clients that will. So it's sometimes it also needs that little bit of push to encourage someone to jump into the unknown. I've done it now several times, so I think I might be a good person to help. And I really think it's nothing better if you can feel your own strengths, if you get connected to yourself, and then you can heal because you're working through those growth periods and you are working on yourself. And this is where you then can show up better in your life and your relationships that are important to you. So yeah, when you come as a client to Relating Wise, you can be sure you are in a safe space with me. So it's very important to make that clear to all my clients that there is no room for judgment. I respect everyone and I value them. And as I said before, so I do not make a difference of what their sexual preferences is, how they make their lives, and where they are. I really guide my clients compassionately, really from the heart and from the soul, and accepting them without judgment. And I want to acknowledge that everyone that comes to me is on a different part of their individual journeys in life. And everyone is trying to make their best in their lives and to grow. And it's on me to guide them exactly where they stand and to really bring the best out to what it is that they need. So I tune to my clients and to their needs in order to really mentor them and support them on their journey as it unfolds. When you would like to start working with me, first thing I guess you want to know is that I do offer single or couple sessions, but also courses for bigger groups. And I do that online. And of course, if you're here in Munich, you're welcome, of course, to do that in person as well. And I've experienced that online coaching is definitely possible, actually before Corona hit. And it is a still good way to be effective. Some things are better in person, but I'm really sure that this works out. Normally, you can expect to have sessions with me about 8 or 16 times, depending on really what your challenge is. I'm not promising wonders within one session. That might be possible. Most of the time, you go a little bit deeper. But I'm also not a psychoanalyst where you would take maybe 50 sessions and more. And of course, if you like to work with me, then I do offer a free discovery call. That means you can just come on the call with me, chat a little bit, because I really believe that this is not just buying a glass of milk, but this is really about a relationship. So you want to understand and have a rapport with me to really see if that fits. The same for me. And once we know that this is how we want to go forward, we then go into our sessions together.